I think it's 2 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and just wanna sure thank everybody for coming this afternoon. And my name is Annie Wilson, and I'm just not on the board or anything. I just am here because I love Pioneer Bluffs, and it's been good to me, and I had the opportunity to put together a put together a little presentation here about what Pioneer Bluffs has done in the last year. And I had time to do this, so I just did it. And did I have any idea what I was going to come up to? There's a lot of things that this incredible organization has done. So I'm going to share them with you today. And first, when we look back on the year, we want to remember our mission, and our mission is our constant focus. And that's from our, on the website, it says, we are dedicated to promoting and preserving the ranching heritage of the Flint Hills, serving as a gateway. And I love that phrase, that figure of speech, because that's what it is. They interpret and understand and safeguard, and not just the past, but also the present, and I hope what we're talking about today, especially the future of the Flint Hills for ranchers and the community in general. So, in the past 12 months, how have we fulfilled this mission? Well, we've had a number of events, and it started with the fall roundup. We're thankful to board member Tracy Graham, chair of the events committee. And this special day started with the reception for our beloved retiring executive director, Lynn Smith, who continues to serve us in her role as donor relations. We then hosted a prairie talk by Flint Hills musician and music scholar Derek Doty on the history of traditional music in Kansas, including his playing a song on the actual fiddle of Henry Rogler, who lived right here at Pioneer Bluffs. We enjoyed classic local cowboy poetry by award-winning cowboy poet Scott Wiswell and local Lyon County rancher Carl Stevie. Both of them just great entertainers. Finally, we enjoyed a spectacular concert of cowboy and western swing music by the nationally acclaimed Three Trails West Band. It was quite a show, top-notch harmonies and humor. What a concert. We hope to have them back. They have got it. And then our next event was Where the Buffalo Roam, and that was hosted by Pioneer Bluffs board member Josh Hoy, featuring a presentation of a panel of knowledgeable bison producers. We all learned a lot about the challenges of raising these unique animals, who are actually wild animals. And the event also included a bison art show, followed by a delicious meal of smoked bison and bison meatloaf. Our first event of 2024 was a Flint Hills Wisdom Keepers presentation by historian and videographer Mark Fiden, sharing his recently edited editions of oral history interviews of Flint Hills farm and ranch folk, all these people and even more. He showed these delightful and informative videos, which are all collected on his website called, it's an odd name, Emil Redmond's Cow. And there's a whole story behind that name. I won't go into it, but it's redmondscow.org. If you ever want to look at it, there's also a link in the lower left there. I have the link that's on the Pioneer Bluffs website, if you can't remember Emil Redmond's Cow, and it's under storytelling, and I'd encourage you to browse there. It is very entertaining. Mark's work aligns, of course, perfectly with our mission to preserve Flint Hills ranching heritage, and Pioneer Bluffs is proud to have partnered with him on several grant projects. And producing the videos not only requires the passion to locate the people, but also incredible technical expertise and time and editing and so forth. Our annual Day on the Prairie for school kids was held on April 30th, where we hosted an enthusiastic group of fourth graders from Village School in Emporia. It's a wonderful opportunity for us to share ranching heritage and activities with school kids, many of whom have no connection to farm and ranch and their families anymore. And we hope to expand this program some next year. On the first Saturday in May, we continued our annual tradition of holding an old-time barn dance in the historic loft up here in the barn. known by many as the best dance floor in the Flint Hills. And dancers came from far and wide. We had we went back and forth. We had couples dances, which are like cowboy two-steps and waltzes. And then we would do an old-time contra or circle dance with a collar or square dances. So we have a little bit for everybody there. The music was provided by the 7-piece Land Band, a group of musicians from other bands across Kansas who gather for our special event. In June, Pioneer Bluffs welcomed Sammy Jo Peterson as our operations director. A Chase County native and graduate of Chase County High, Sammy Jo earned a master's in business administration at Tabor College, then returned home where she helps coach girls basketball at Chase County High School and works as a cowgirl for her family in the Flint Hills in their ranching operation as she has since childhood. Sammy Jo said of Pioneer Bluffs, "I have been searching for my place in this community that has always been my home, and I have found it." And so we are thrilled to have found her. Sammy Jo has already been a quick study and a hard worker this year. Her leadership's already making a difference. Why isn't she here today? Well, she has a pretty good excuse. She's getting married today. And we said, well, we'll give you the day off. But anyway, so we send great congratulations to her and her dear husband, Clayton Happy, who also has been helping a lot this year, volunteering, wishing them all the best in the future. We held 3 wonderful Prairie Talk events this summer, and thanks to board member Jane Cawthorn for coordinating these speakers. That's a big job. We started with the nearby Crocker Ranch history just down the road here, an outstanding presentation given by board member Matt Methvin of Cottonwood Falls. Matt lived on this ranch in the 1980s, and he told about the 114 years of this renowned ranch, including about its extensive buildings, large team of colorful cowboys, especially during the railroad shipping era, and their financial challenges over the years, and went through lots of ranch archives. And I got to sing a song with lyrics written by one of the Crocker Ranch cowboys, Lou Hart. Next, we heard from Flint Hills author Jim Hoy and his son Josh Hoy, who, along with his wife Gwen, manages the Flying W near Cedar Point. They shared the story of their fascinating journey to Kyrgyzstan. Our audience learned about the nomadic culture, horsemanship, and stockmanship of the Kyrgyz people and the flora and fauna of the high steppe. The Hoys even contrasted that culture to the Argentine gaucho, Australian outback stockmen, Mexican vaquero, as well as the American buckaroo and Flint Hills cowboys. Lots of cowboys in the world, different cultures. For our next Prairie Talk, Doug Clausen told the story of Frederick Remington, famed American painter, illustrator, sculptor, and writer who specialized in depictions of the old American West. It turns out that before Remington became famous, he tried his hand at sheep ranching in Butler County, Kansas. Doug Clausen, along with his brothers in 1983, purchased what was once the Remington Sheep Ranch, and he became fascinated and learned a lot about this. He told stories of Remington's time in Kansas, chasing jackrabbits on horseback, racing horses, holding boxing matches, and pulling pranks. We were reminded that Remington's legacy is strong in Butler County, as today he is the namesake of the 3 schools in USD 206 in Whitewater and Potwin, elementary, middle, and high schools called Remington. These are just a few of Remington's famous works. Not everyone knows this, but in case you missed any of these Prairie Talks, the good news is they are recorded and preserved. Our thanks to photographer and videographer Dave Leiker, who of course is here us today. Hey, Dave! For all his important work in preserving these valuable talks for posterity and fulfilling that mission of preserving ranching heritage. And in his absence, Mark Fiden also helped us some this year. And these are all archived on our Pioneer Bluffs YouTube channel. And so if you ever want to go to that, you can hear this one will even be on there. This our talk for today, and they're all on there, and they're just it's better streaming and browsing than you'll get anywhere else. And then we had Day of the Cowboy, which we have every year with an old-time ice cream social and a great chance to gather up with old friends. And after the ice cream, we celebrated our cowboy music culture with the Songs of the Trail sing-along with Jeff Davidson and Annie Wilson. Fun for all ages. On September 8th, we held a Pioneer Bluffs fundraiser celebrating the 20th anniversary of Tallgrass Express, a local band of which I am a member, specializing in songs of the Flint Hills, who have performed at Pioneer Bluffs numerous times in the past. Pioneer Bluffs has been a big part of my band, and I will always be thankful. Over 220 people attended the event, which included a delicious dinner by Smokin' O's, a jam session of Tallgrass Express band alumni, and then I got to tell a little bit of the story of the band, and we had a Tallgrass Express concert. We were just so thankful to everybody who came. And then, of course, throughout all this year, we've been hosting many beautiful weddings here at Pioneer Bluffs, 14 weddings in all, and we thank Paula Roper and Mindy Graham for all their help in coordinating these joyous events. We never cease to be amazed at how people and families decorate and utilize our facilities, in addition to providing an awesome setting of authentic Kansas rural homestead buildings and grounds. These weddings also provide a lot of happiness to families and help us earn funds needed to maintain our facilities and support our nonprofit mission. This last year has also seen major improvements to the Rogler House, the big house that's up there right off the highway, one of our treasures at Pioneer Bluffs. It was built in 1908 by Henry and Maud Rogler, who gave this place the name Pioneer Bluffs. Upstairs, we now have a special room honoring them with portraits and artifacts telling their inspiring story. On the left, the first one here tells the story of Henry and Maud's life together. The next displays their wedding photos and restored marriage certificate from 1901, and another tells about their 4 children, including Wayne Rogler, who later lived in this house, and he was of my era. I met him when I was a young kid. And then we have a special treasure, which is the actual fiddle of Henry Rogler, restored and beautifully displayed. It's a symbol of his love of music and why Pioneer Bluffs today continues to especially feature Flint Hills music as part of our ranching heritage. Stay tuned next year for additional improvements that are currently being made on the home. Our thanks to board member Dawn Dutton, especially for all her work on the house. In order to inform the public and make all these activities successful, Pioneer Bluffs engages in numerous communications. We've got social media, print and e-newsletters, press releases to the print media, and our website maintained by board member Greg Stolzheimer. So what makes all of these activities possible? Well, first, it's our volunteers. They come early and stay late to events, making sure our guests are taken care of and that programs go smoothly. And I'm sure if some of them are up here, and there's probably a bunch of them downstairs working because they just make everything keep going and happening. But thanks to all of you that do that. We also hold a volunteer work day throughout the year. These are pretty fun, Tom Sawyer, you've heard about, painting. Anyway, it's sort of fun. And so we get together and have a good time and do general cleaning and upkeep and just enjoy time working together in the beautiful Flint Hills. We did have the wonderful fortune of Sammy Joe brought the Chase County girls basketball team, and they helped us in August, and I'm telling you, we got her done. In one morning, we got a tremendous amount of work done, just making huge progress with those really enthusiastic and energetic girls in the upper left there. Real sweet kids. Our volunteers, of course, also include our leadership, board members, who contribute their wisdom as well as their time and expertise, and especially our president, Nancy Matkey, who helps with everything. Where are you, Nancy? She's downstairs working. Oh, my gosh. Okay. And are there any board members? Raise your hand if you're a board member. And I think Dawn is downstairs. I know she's here. Anyway, working. And then finally, it is you, our supporters, who make all this possible. We thank folks like you who come to support our events and become part of our community. We also deeply appreciate your donations, whether large or small, to make these events possible. We want to remind you that Match Day is coming up November 18th, sponsored by the Emporia Community Foundation. If you would like to stretch your donated dollars, well, again, whether large or small, this is the way to do it. If you give on match day, a portion of your contribution will be matched. And there's a way to do it, not exactly on match day, but they'll explain downstairs. Half of our funding comes through match day, and what we raise now determines what programs we can do next year. The registration table downstairs has information on how you can increase the impact of your donation and make a real difference through match day. And Lynn Smith is with us today. She might want to say a quick hello. Okay. Is it working?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, of course, yeah, thank you. It's so nice to be here tonight or today, and it's so good to be back. And, of course, thank you, Annie. She just did a great job on the year in review of everything that's been happening in the last year since I've been gone. And look at all that they're still going strong. And our volunteers, I always have just adored our volunteers and all of you. You're just the best people in the whole world. And so when I had this opportunity, first I've been working with Sammy Jo and getting her trained, and then, and she's the real deal. Honestly, she is terrific. I've enjoyed every minute working with her. She's a lot of fun. Be sure and stop and see her, call her, get to know her a little bit like you did me, because you will enjoy it. And anyway, so I had an opportunity to come back, just very, very part-time, and enough to have fun with Sammy Jo and all of you and the board, who's doing another great job, and but not interfere with retirement too much. So if you have questions, I am helping with donations and that type of thing. And if you have any questions about match day or anything else regarding donations, please feel free to contact me. Downstairs is the information on match day that's going out in the mail on Monday or Tuesdays. So you'll be getting this in the mail if you're on the snail mail, and if you're not, you can sign up down there to do it.
Westward we go toward the last buffalo, to the high plains of sturdy short grass, where the great southern herd still a sight beyond words, as it covers the prairie so